Ukrainian community in London pay tribute to people who lost lives in war. As Friday marks the first anniversary of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, a commemoration ceremony was held outside the Ukrainian embassy in London. Demonstrators marched following a memorial service in front of the Street Volodymyr statue, holding Ukrainian flags and banners reading "Save Ukrainian Children," "Stop Killing Ukrainians," "Stop Kidnapping Our Children," and "Expel Russia from the UN," as well as photographs of the war. Many Christian clergies also participated in the ceremony, where those who lost their lives in the war were remembered, prayers were offered, and hymns were sung. In his speech, Vadim Prystaiko, the Ukrainian ambassador in London, thanked all the nations that supported his country in its fight against Russia and said the West now realizes the threat posed by Russia. A tribute in Holland Park Avenue consisted of dozens of toys attached to the railings, each representing a child who lost their life in the conflict. The toys, including teddy bears and dolls, were placed by members of the Ukrainian community in London. Meanwhile, on February 23, a group of activists poured hundreds of liters of yellow and blue paint onto the road outside the Russian embassy in London. The campaign group, led by donkeys, known for their high-profile activism and political stunts, stopped traffic as they used wheelbarrows and brushes to spread more than 300 liters of paint across the road, creating a 500 square meter, 5,382 square foot, Ukrainian flag. Ukrainian families torn apart by Russia's brutal full-scale. We traveled to two of the worst-hit towns north of Kyiv, and saw wrecked and devastated communities. But their heartrending sadness and loss was lifted by proud defiance in the face of Moscow's terrible onslaught. In Irpin, hundreds of civilians were slaughtered as rampaging Russian troops tore into town, blasting the innocent, including women and children. Today, families and friends unveiled a plaque honoring local hero and national sportsman Igor Suhai, 30, who died saving countless lives. The territorial defense warrior, a former regular soldier, died in March last year evacuating Irpin civilians as Russians stormed his town. Today, his weeping widow Nastia, standing with his two little boys who wore Marvel hats, told mourners, "Igor's advice to me was do not be afraid. He always told me, they should be afraid of us, they will never win." Massive winter storm creates chaos, havoc for U.S. state of California. Millions bracing for blizzard conditions, snow, heavy rain, flooding, mudslides, tornadoes, power outages. A massive winter storm blanketed the state of California on Friday. It's threatening treacherous blizzard conditions. A blizzard warning, the first issued by this office, is now in effect for the San Bernardino County Mountains from 4 a.m. Friday to 4 p.m. Saturday, the National Weather Service, NWS, in San Diego tweeted. Travel will be very difficult to impossible due to the extremely heavy snow and extremely high winds expected. Forecasters predict that up to 5 feet of snow may fall in the mountains of Big Bear Lake, about 2 hours northeast of Los Angeles, creating whiteout conditions and wind gusts of up to 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, with extreme weather conditions raising the risk of avalanches. This storm should not be taken lightly. Officials tweeted in the city of Big Bear Lake. Stay home. Stay warm. Stay safe. We can potentially receive upwards of 3 to 5 feet, maybe more, of snow tonight, it said. In Santa Clarita, about 40 miles, 64 kilometers, north of Los Angeles, parts of Interstate 5 were closed Friday due to a mudslide, according to the California Department of Transportation. Heavy snow had fallen Thursday night when the storm began moving into the state. In Northern California, lack of visibility led to road closures along Interstate 80 between San Francisco and the state's capital of Sacramento. At least 3 million Californians were under a winter storm. While the forecast for heavy snow has put much of the state on high alert, the southern coastal areas could also face threats from heavy rain and flooding, with the greater Los Angeles area possibly getting 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, according to the new latest radar shows continuing heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms, tweeted the new in Los Angeles. Weak tornadoes are possible. Rain will continue over all areas with rain rates increasing at times to 0.25 to 0.50 per hour. Evacuation warnings were issued through Saturday morning just north of Los Angeles in Ventura County. The area is considered unstable after being hit hard by storms that killed more than 12 people last month. Pedro Pascal changed his name for touching reason. Pedro Pascal is one of the biggest names in Hollywood right now. He was originally called something else. The Last of Us star, who is on tonight's The Graham Norton Show, first rose to fame as Oberyn Martell in the 4th season of Game of Thrones. Pascal has gone on to star in some of the biggest TV franchises, starring as Javier Peña in Netflix crime series Narcos, and Disney's Star Wars spin-off The Mandalorian. He's also appeared in blockbusters such as The Adjustment Bureau, Kingsman, The Golden Circle and Wonder Woman 1984, and is now starring as Joel in HBO's zombie series The Last of Us. The Chilean-born American actor is now a household name. He was actually born José Pedro Balmaceda. Pascal's family moved to the United States, after being forced to flee Chile when he was just 9 months old. His parents, Veronica Pascal, a child psychologist, and José Balmaceda, a fertility doctor, risked their lives to fight for justice. His mother was the cousin of Andrés Pascal Allende, the nephew of socialist Chilean President Salvador Allende, and both his parents were active in resistance groups against the Augusto Pinochet dictatorship. Because of this, they sought refuge in the Venezuelan embassy in Santiago, were later granted political asylum in Denmark. Then moved to Texas and then California. Tragically, his mother took her own life in 1999, and Pedro changed his last name from his father's, Balmaceda, to his mother's, Pascal. Pedro credits his mom with finding fame, but sadly she never got to see his career take off. She was always incredibly supportive, never a stage mom. I always felt like she knew something that I didn't, he told People in 2020. My success would be real if it weren't for her. It was a touching tribute for his late mother, but he also revealed that he made the change because the people around him struggled to say it. And also, because Americans had such a hard time pronouncing Balmaceda, he told Variety. It was exhausting. The actor also tried to change his first name, swapping out Pedro for Alexander, so that he could get more acting jobs.